All right. So this is what we covered on Saturday. So if you didn't get a chance to go to practice, um, last minute, I get it. And then this is what we worked on. And why is this popping out? Don't pop up when I'm trying to do a thing. So this is what we went over. Given the players that we had, we couldn't get like a full team, and the other team didn't show up, which is kind of a good thing. We were able to utilize the full field up until like the last 15 minutes of their other team for the next time slot came in a bit early. But without further ado, this is kind of like what we have. So we had, let me see. We had a goalie, me. So I got kind of like worked. I was the goalie um, to help. But since we didn't have any goalies there, so both our goalies were out. But I acted as the goalie to kind of help give you the idea that this is what's supposed to happen. It's a lot of communication. So I think that was one of the biggest thing that we worked on was the communication part, talking to the other defenders or talking to the other strikers. If you're at an offense, you don't gotta talk. Hey, pass it to me. I'm open. I'm open. Or pass it back. Watch out. Whatever. So it's very important that you're talking all the time. Um, they might see things that you don't see. They have other players that are pretty fast coming behind you. Hey, watch out, watch out, watch out. Pass, pass, pass. And they're telling you to pass. If you hear them to pass, then they're seeing things what you can't because you're either looking down, you're doing whatever. Um, so you need to be, try to be, look up most of the time like you're dribbling, and so you don't want to lose the ball, and that's perfectly understandable. So as you're dribbling, as you're going down the field, take a second. If you have to slow down, if you're able to, if you're not being heavily defended, you can take a couple seconds to kind of look up and see, the field, see who's where. Okay, this is so and so's there, so and so's there, um, and so pretty much this game's about making quick decisions. Yeah, so they're not gonna wait for you to think. They're not gonna stand there. They're gonna go after you. They're gonna charge after you. They're going to try to steal the ball from you. They don't care how long you've been playing. You've been playing, since Wednesday, or since you were two. They don't care. They're going to get the ball. So you need to be able to make these decisions as fast as possible, with hopefully with the help from your teammates. So that's the goalie, that's the center fullback. If you're a striker, if you're the midfielder, you'll have to communicate, help each other out. Okay, hey, pass the ball. Say, hey, Toby's open. We have someone in the field named Toby. I don't know why Toby came out, but like if you see Toby, he's wide open. Hey, pass it to Toby. Toby's open, and then you'll cross it to Toby. Um, but yeah, communication is a huge thing that we covered. So me, right? I was the goalie. Then I had someone here. I think that's the what position is this? Fullback. What side? The left side. So I had a left fullback. I had a center fullback, and I had a right fullback. And that's pretty much it. Actually, I someone came in late, and I had him as a center midfielder. So this person came in late to practice. And then we had the opposing team. So that's going to be white. So I had some strong strikers. I think I had, who's on this side? I think I had Carter. Then I had Antonio on this side. And then I had another player that came in late as the um, right center. No, not yeah, right midfielder. I had someone as a left midfielder. Let me see. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. And I think I had someone else. I had, okay, let me see. Yeah, okay. So, and then I had another midfielder, center mid. And so this is what I wanted. I wanted a strong offense to help out the defense. Well, this is not the actual, just just pretty much like random people, random slots, uh, positions, um, because we didn't have everyone here. Um, this person normally played this position. This person who played this position. So it is what it is, and we did with what we had. But we all learned. That's the important thing. We all learned. Okay, so we all learned to communicate. So when I saw that, let's give a soccer ball to number three. So when I had number three come down attacking, they're attacking this person over here for some reason. I think they was showing Carter. I know, like sometimes they're over here or whatever the case was. That number three was open, came down. So say, hey, okay, I would tell them to push forward. Say, hey, go and defend, go and pressure. I would use the word pressure. Go pressure, and put some pressure. So they're press up, and then the center fullback, I would tell them, say, hey, get ready. If they need help, you need your help. I don't think they played center fullback. They played, excuse me, midfielder. So they weren't familiar with the roles or whatever. But we all learned that kind of, okay, this is what you need to do. And you're standing still. You're not doing anything. So for all of you that are watching, if you get put as a center fullback, you're not just standing here. You're not like a solid wall. Okay, you are assisting the left fullback. You're assisting the right fullback in case they get beat. You're looking out for where's my box? You know, these guys, if they come in here, so if they're coming in hot, they're coming to help out, then you need to be able to get ready to mark them. You need to mark these guys. So you need to be vocal too and say, hey, I got one, or I got two, and then as well as this one. But if there's no talking going on, then the goalie, who's they're watching the ball, they have to watch the ball. They got to see what's going on because they need to be ready in case they take a shot from here. So they're getting ready, but they see what's going on because they're in this backfield. So if I take check out my awesome art skills. So they got this range of view. This is their view, right? So this line of sight, they're seeing all this here, right? All this here. It looks like he's doing a Kamehameha. The Kamehameha. Anyway, um, they see all of this, right? They're seeing all of this. They're seeing all of that. So they can communicate. Let me erase these beautiful lines that I made. Okay, all gone. Okay, so they can see all what's going on. So they are in position to help the defense on what's going on. So if me, the goalie, if I saw that two just got beat by number three, I would tell R3, say, hey, go and help out, go put pressure, go and defend, go and get him. You just got beat. So there we go. To attack, or not to attack, but to defend. And then they would pick themselves off from getting their ankles broken or whatever the case may be, and then go back and help with the defense. And at that point, if they tried to take a shot, of course I defended it easily because I'm like the best goalie in the world, or they passed it off. And for the record, they did get like a couple shots off. They got some good shots when they used teamwork. Okay, so more on that later. So let's go back on the defense part. So communication. So that's what we worked on. So I would tell them, say, hey, push up, push up. If I saw that the ball was out here and whatever, I think I booted the ball. So if I had booted the ball way down here, because I'm like the best goalie in the world, and I can kick a soccer ball like 3 soccer fields, right? So I kept it in here because I don't want people running. I don't want them running all the way down and chasing out the ball. Give them a break because I hadn't run like all seasons already. All season I hadn't running, so I didn't run in. I didn't want them to die from a heart attack from all this running. So I just kept it down here, about here, so they can chase after it, right? And then so they would get the ball. I think the midfielders kind of stayed up here. Carter, Antonio, kind of like they stayed up. I think because that's where they're supposed to. They're supposed to stay up, right? So they kind of stayed up here, and they would get the ball. And then, so as the ball was on this side, over here, right? Then I would tell these guys to push up a little bit. So okay, I'll push up. It's okay, push up, push up, push up. I would communicate, so push up. And as the ball was getting, because we had no defenders, we didn't have that many people. This is all we had. So, but I was kind of coordinating and simulating that there were, more people and they were pushing up. So I saw this, as soon as I saw them come up with the ball, pretty fast. Okay, fall back. Okay, so to fall back and then fall back. So communication. Now, some things that I saw was that applying the pressure or defending the ball. I think we covered this before, but I am going to do my famous doodle, right? So I do a famous doodle. So when defending the ball, there are 4 P's. 4 P's when defending the ball, right? Pressure, right? The first P is pressure. You're applying pressure, and I'm gonna do better than that. So that way we can remember. So let's do this here. Pressure. Okay. Okay, so pressure. Can you see that? Okay, pressure. I'll put it here where it could be seen. Okay, pressure. Okay, pressure. Position, right? That's the second P. Position. Patience. Okay, be patient with me because I'm trying to get this right. Haha, okay. And the 4th P is poke. So those are the 4 P's on defense, okay? Pressure, position, patience, and poke. So what I mean by that? Okay, what I mean by that is, okay, go back to the little marker so I can, my beautiful art skills, is they have the ball. So we're defending the ball. Okay, so I can't stress this enough. We want to defend the ball. More importantly than winning the ball, if you apply, okay, if you apply the 4 P's, that is a byproduct. Winning the ball is a byproduct of applying the 4 P's of defense, right? If you apply the pressure and you get the good positioning, if you're patient and then you poke, we'll win the ball as the byproduct, right? So don't worry so much about what they're gonna do, or what they're doing with the ball. They can do a little footwork and they do a little whatever. You're not staring at the ball, so that's where you can kind of like, if you're looking at the ball, you're looking down and you're doing this and trying to keep up. That's a mistake a lot of people do. You don't do that. You want to kind of follow the player. Follow the body. Follow like the body body language, body positioning. See where they're going. See if they're looking down. If they're looking down, that's even better because they're not paying attention to what to where you at. So but then you got to communicate too. Say, hey, I got him, or if you feel that they're too fast for you, it's like, if you're not like the fastest person in the world, and you're, what's that snail's name from that one movie? You know what I'm talking about? Like, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna cheat real quick. Snail movie. Turbo. Okay, yeah. I knew that. I didn't have to look it up. That's not me typing on Google or anything like that. Okay, so that's me and my finger doing. That's what you heard. Okay, you didn't hear me typing again for the answer. So you feel that you're like pre-turbo before you got the what's it called? What was it that he got the 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 turbo juice or whatever, you know, Nas or whatever he got injected in the system. So if you feel you're like turbo, you're like snail mode, and you can't defend, you need to communicate. Say, hey, I need help. It's like, hey, I got him. You can do so much. So um, space out. So if you feel that they're faster than you, you need to space yourself out a bit more. You don't get too close, because if you're too close, it's easier for them to kind of like go around you and beat you. So the further the distance, you know, you still can cut them off, right? You still can cut them off. So let me demonstrate here. So from here, right, if you're really like on them, like red on white, haha, yeah, I get it. So, so if you're on them like this, it's easier for them to do one move and they kind of like get the ball and run right past you, especially if you're slow. It'd be like turbo, pre Nas. But if you give yourself some space, and you just stay in front, you stay in front of them, they can have a hard time losing you because you're not giving them, that space to where they can get past you. So they come up here, and then you're right there with them, right? So you're applying the pressure, but you don't want to get too close if you're not the fastest person in the world, right? So you apply the pressure, and then next thing is what's here, right here. What's the next thing? Position. So with my handy dandy um, pencil tool that you see here, I'm gonna position myself in a way to force the defender. Oh, I'm the defender. I'm sorry. Force the offensive player with the ball carrier, towards the sideline. Like, I don't want them to have access to any of that. We don't want that. Okay, so we don't want them give opportunity to where they can break away, they can pass off. We want to cut that off for them. We want to cut off all the possibilities of a pass or breaking away and into the open space. We want to force them this way. So position. So if you're over here, I'm not going to be positioned. I'm going to kind of position to their left, right? So I'm going to back this up. So kind of facing. Why can't I do the little triangle thing? Yeah, so kind of facing that way. I kind of like that. My beautiful arrow. That's an ugly arrow. So, but let me see if I got a better tool. Okay, so nope, that's even worse. So my body position, my shoulders, right, squared up that way. So now I can't do a box, right? I can't do a diagonal box. Okay, so all right. So I'm forced to go this way. If I had the ball carrier is forced to go towards the sideline. So once you hit towards the sideline, they don't have much to work here. They can try to beat you and go down here, but then we're gonna fall back, and it's gonna be, well, hopefully, to our best ability, be defended, or they'll draw back, right? They'll fall back, and they'll wait for help. They'll get help so they can pass the ball. Now, what would happen? What would happen if I were this way? So like the ball carrier, and I'm facing this direction, right? So now let me get this. I'm facing this way. Do this. Okay, see if that makes sense, right? So if I'm facing that way, I'm forcing them to go where? I'm forcing him to go that direction if I'm facing here. So I'm giving them access to all of that. He could take us, you know, if they have a foot, if they have a foot, they can score. They can take a shot from outside the box if they want to, or they can pass it. We don't want that. So that's what we're trying to avoid, right? So we want to avoid that by positioning, right? Position. You get a good position, and you know, this is either close or, you know, kind of maybe kind of like your like a hand distance away, maybe a hand distance away, right? You don't want to be too far back, you know, but you still want to be kind of good position because you want to apply what? Pressure, right? So we still want that pressure, but you don't want to give them too much. You don't want to give them too much space. Um, what's the third P? Patience, right? Be patient. So they're gonna do this, they can do that. They can be fancy. You know, you got them locked in. You got them locked down, right? You got that pressure going. You're in a good position, and they're gonna try to do this. They can, you know, whatever the ball's gonna do all this nonsense, and they're gonna like do that razzle dazzle or whatever. But as soon as you see an opportunity, you patient, you wait your turn, and then just tap the ball. You know, so you just the ball's coming, and it's doing this number, it's doing this, it's doing that, right? And then you're here, right? So you're here. I hope you can see this. So you see here, you're defending, and the person's here, and the ball's just doing this number thing, right? And you're just kind of like waiting, waiting, and say they mess up, they slip, whatever, and just tap the ball. You could just poke the ball, it rolls out, they lose control, and then we win possession, right? So you apply pressure, good positioning, you're patient, and then you poke at the ball and get opportunity. We're not kicking, we're not doing a Hail Mary, we're not kicking no field goals, especially from back here. All right, we're not doing that nonsense here. Like clearing the ball, yes, if there's space, if they're not around, then yeah, go try to clear the ball. But again, you have to be careful. They're gonna have other people here. They're gonna have their midfielders. So this also you have to have these good decision making on the field. You got to be aware of the field, situation awareness. Okay, so once you poke the ball, they lose the ball. If you can, right? If you can, we're gonna, you know, if we have a center, a midfielder, they lose the ball, it rolls out, and we can get to it before anyone else can. Pass it up. You can pass it up the field, or what I would prefer to happen is to clear it. Clear the ball means to take it from our side of the field into theirs. If you have the foot, you know, so if you have the foot, clear it, because we're gonna have our people, or we can have our strikers here, and then we're gonna have our midfielders. So look, they showed up today. They showed up. So they can be here. So maybe it lands here. We'll have here, we have our strikers, and then we'll pass, and we'll do electro magic, and we score. But 4 Ps, okay? Any questions? Hopefully this helps a little bit. It'll take some practice, okay? So if you don't have the agility or the speed, um, you know, don't focus so much on the ball, but the body of the player. You know, We can't use your hands. That's why like grabbing the jerseys. Don't do that. You get flagged. Um, to the best of your ability, stay in front of them. Stay in front. Don't let them behind you. Especially if you're like Turbo, pre-Nas, you want to stay in front. Give them a headache. And I was like, man, I can't get past them. You stay, but then you're not going for the ball, right? You apply pressure, and you stay within. You have your good positioning. Be patient, and then you go for the poke. You don't always have to go for the poke. You can apply the first three. I said let them miss up. They can try to do something fancy, and then because they think they're the next Messi, whatever, they lose the ball. It happens. I guarantee you. You're gonna see that a lot. They're gonna do this and this. They're gonna think they can get past you, and it's like you're doing a good job at applying the pressure and be in front of them, and then they'll do something and they'll lose the ball, and then we'll win possession. So um, remember, we want to defend the ball. We're not trying to win the ball. Winning the ball comes from a byproduct. It's the byproduct from applying the 4 P's of defense. Okay, so now that we've covered that, is what, 26 minutes that you've been listening to me ramble, um, because you like my voice. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so offense. So one of the things that I talked to the team was not just about communication. Well, actually, it was about communication, but passing the ball. I think that was the biggest thing. So passing the ball. You can't be the hero. Okay? There's no superhero on the team. There's no I in team. And I don't want to hear no, smart mouths. Oh, well, there is if you spell it in Spanish. It's like, so, and that was, I used to say that, so I know. So I used to say that, it's like, I was just smart, but yeah, look, there's no I in team. Okay? There are other seasoned players on the team that's played in other leagues. They played here for a couple seasons, so you're not the only one. So if you scored 7 goals, in a game before, if you had hat tricks, and you had like the game-winning penalty kick, and your last team, whatever, that's great. That's awesome. I'm glad to have you on our team. But guess what? You're not the only one. There's like 3 other people on a team that scored hat tricks and had a crossover. This is a team built around seasoned players. Um, so you have to trust your other teammates. Okay, we can't do it by ourselves. And the reason they were able to do it, and I seen the other kids play when they were on the other team, is because they had a good, solid foundation of teamwork. They didn't do it on their own. They got past the ball. They had opportunities. Opportunities were made for them to score, and they scored. So, and we need to replicate that. We need to do the same thing here. So use the tools that we have. We have a lot of players that are good strikers. We have good midfielders. We have good defenders. And so trust in your teammates. Pass the ball. So if I'm yelling, pass the ball, it's because I'm telling you we could have scored if we passed. If we passed the ball. So listen to your midfielder. Midfielder will become like the offensive captain, right? The strikers are going to be up here. Let me get rid of these. Just let me clear the board. So I'm gonna clear the board. Give me a goalie. Give me. Okay, so this is our strikers. They can play high and wide. They play up here, right up front. And we can have our midfielders, right? So this is what we're working with on offense, right? This is where we're going to attack using all 5 of these tools. This is our tool when it comes to offense, right? And then so when we're in this area, we're attacking. This is the attack phase. So if they're pushing up, guess what these midfielders are going to do. You're going to push up as well. You know, you got to help them out. You got to help them score. You know, maybe they can't score. Um, they're here. You know, they lost the ball. Whatever the reason, you're going to have to help out. You have to push out. Push up. I'm sorry. You're going to have to push up. Push up so they can help. You can get the ball. So let's give them a soccer ball. So they're here. Let's give them a goalie. For some reason, I like giving the other team when I'm using this the color yellow. Right. So there's defenders there. So just I'm not gonna add it and kind of add any more confusions to the board, but there's defenders here, and I have one here, one here. Right. So it's your job, if they're defended, to create an opportunity to go for cross goal. So maybe they'll pass it back. So if you're number two, what options do you have? Don't try to take a shot every single time unless you have a clear shot, and I would prefer it if you're within the 18-yard penalty box. So this penalty box is like it's the normally 18 yards. I think it's smaller. The size for this field is a bit smaller than the actual um, you know actual soccer field size for the older kids, because we're playing 9U, so we play on a smaller field. So the dimension is smaller. So, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? The penalty box, right? So this is the penalty box. This right here, this little blue rectangle, and I can leave it blue. So once you're in the zone, right here, what's in here? Um, that's probably like the most ideal area to go for a shot. Not out here. Not out here. You know, out here, if you watch a lot of the games, to take your shot from outside the 18-yard penalty box requires a really strong leg. You know, you have a good leg and good a good kick, strong foot to make the shot. And but if you're you know, but at this age group, I haven't seen that many players that can take a shot from out here cleanly without it being defended by the goalie. So 97% of the time, if you're taking a shot from outside of here, it's gonna get stopped. You know, it's gonna get stopped by the goalie, and they can have defenders. So, um, you know, they're gonna have defenders here too. They might have four. Some teams are playing with four fullbacks, and they might have like two up here, like one up here, like got two up here. So it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be. They're not gonna give you that opportunity to take a shot from there. So, okay, you go away. Let's go away. Bear with me. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. So stay with me. So if you're still watching this, kudos. I haven't bored you yet. But yeah, if you're here, pass the ball. Yeah, you like let them go in. You go for a pass if they're open, and then you follow through. You just kind of follow them, and then once you're inside the what's this called? The penalty box. So once inside that penalty box, it's an easier shot on the goal. Okay. Um, if you're taking a shot here, we're gonna have a discussion. We're gonna have discussion here because guarantee you, I guarantee we can lose that ball. But if we make it, that's a whole different. That's a better conversation. But we don't want to take those risks. Okay, we don't want that risk. We want to maintain possession of the ball at all costs. Okay, give yourself an opportunity to get a guaranteed goal by what? By passing the ball, sharing the ball with the other teammates who is just as skilled as you are. That's why you're in a position as a striker and midfielder. They're gonna come up here to assist, to help out. Okay, oh man, I got their defenders. Oh look, they came out of nowhere. So they're here, they're here, they're here. So don't try to do anything here and try to go for a goal here. because a lot of times it can be defended unless they're not, the goalie's not where they should be at. But a lot of times don't always count on their goalie to not be as skilled. Okay, so you do not want to underestimate your opponent. We do not want to underestimate our opponent. Okay, one more time. We do not want to underestimate our opponent. Okay, so it's about getting them the respect that they're gonna play. They can be defensive, and taking a shot here when it's heavily defended. And so, what's the best thing to do if we have other people here? Is to pass it, and they can come up and they can create, and you can help them create a situation by getting open. They're gonna follow you. You can be marked. So that's another thing. So again, it's a lot of going, a lot of moving pieces, right? Situation awareness. Gotta talk. So but guess what? This he's open. Everyone's mind are focused in this area here. Everyone's all here. They're gonna have their other midfielder backing up help. They can come help because they say, hey, we need some help. They're gonna come down here, right? They're gonna come down here to help out. So you're gonna see a lot of time, a lot of congestion. You see a lot of people there. So if you're on this side, you shouldn't be here. First of all, so if you're playing your position right, you're left midfielder. So you need to be able to be in a position to where you can help get the ball, get possession, and score. So we have people here. And it's defended. So if you're here, right, you want to be in a position to where it takes the pressure off of the offense. And now look, you're wide open. You're wide open. 2 is marked, so 4 is marking 2 earlier. So you can cut. That gives you time to run into where? Run into where was that blue box called? The penalty box. You're running in. So at this point, they might be chasing whatever. And if they lose their mark here, so they got to get picked up. So 4 guys to pick up 4, leaving 2 open. So 2 sees 4 doing that. They can either go up here to help out and receive a pass, or they can do one of these numbers and they go for pass, and so it's pretty dangerous. As soon as you're in the danger zone, let's change that to the danger zone. So it's no longer the penalty box. It's the danger zone. Okay. How am I doing on time? Okay, I'm gonna end this soon. I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna leave the danger zone here. So as soon as in the danger zone, we gotta score and they gotta defend. But who wants it more? So don't try to be the hero and take a shot unless the line side. If you're not being defended, and you beat them, say 4 got beat out, you're right there, and you're right there, and it's just you and the goalie, and then maybe they're over here. Get that line of sight. Take the shot. Take a well played shot. Okay, good play. Don't try to rush it. Okay, I'd rather take a well aimed shot and then it getting defended by the goalie rather than it going out of bounds or something crazy or getting over there. We don't want that. So if you take your time, well placed kick, well aimed contact and good contact with the foot and the soccer ball, I promise you, you're gonna get that good. You're gonna get that good kick right towards the goal, hopefully, right? So take that shot. But remember, it's a team effort, right? So the danger zone. Don't take the shot when you're here. It's when you want to take the shot. You don't want to take the shot when you're outside the box because it's going to be what? It's going to be defended. It's going to be blocked by the goalie. And then guess what? It's going to get clear. It's going to go back this way. And now we're on the defense. We don't want that. So don't take a shot outside of the what? The danger zone. Please, por favor. Don't stress us out. Okay, so We work so hard getting the ball in this area. Get some help. You know, if you're open like we talked about earlier, you got to talk. What did we talk about earlier? Communication. To communicate. Hey, I'm open. I'm open. And if you're the center midfield, you're like the offensive captain, right? So you say, hey, pass it to Toby. It's like yeah, I'll name Toby again. We can keep using the name. You'll pass it to Toby. Toby's open, and they're gonna pass it because he's open. Why are you there? Okay, so they're gonna pass it. But in a nutshell, we covered the defense to a degree, and then we covered about passing on the offense. There's some tendencies that we have to be uh, familiar with each player. This is one thing I talked about, like after practice wrapped up. I said, hey, you know, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and so it's best to learn what they are. You know, to know your teammates, know what their strengths are, know what their weaknesses are. If you know they have trouble grounding the ball from a crossover, okay, well that's one of those decision things. Remember, soccer it's a lot about you know these key making key decisions at key moments in the game. Okay, so okay, where he's wide open, Toby's open, right? And I can go for a cross, but we all know his secret. It's like, what's his secret? It's like he has trouble grounding the balls, you know. So it's like you want to take that risk, and and then he goes for the ground, and then like it rebounds and it bounces this way, you know, bounces back this way, it goes out of bounds, and we just lost the ball. But that's neither here or there. We don't have, you know, it wasn't like something. That's just an example when I was talking about strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so we know people that can kick well, that can kick from a certain distance. You know, pass it to the playmakers. Okay, so that's one thing I talk about. Pass it to the playmakers. If you know they make play, if we're good on defense, we know who to guard. Hey, you know, you need to go and cover this person. You cover number two. You mark three. I'll direct. You know, organize the thing. So that's pretty much what we talked about. And then that's pretty much it. So uh, hopefully this has helped somewhat. So um, two practices left, right? Monday and Wednesday. Wednesdays we get our jerseys. Yay! Um, so we get our jerseys Wednesday. So if you can make it a practice, you probably see this when you get home Monday, and it's like, oh man, well, I was like, um, well, it's too late now. Like, well, I'm gonna practice. So I'll discuss in person, um, hopefully within 5 minutes. I'll say this is what we worked on, and then we can continue to work on those key things on Monday, and then Wednesday we'll depend on what the other coach wants to do. I don't know if we'll do a scrimmage because I want to focus on um, getting the formation down. Okay, this is where we start. As soon as it starts, this is where you should move. So I want everyone to know what they're supposed to be doing on the field because we really haven't had anyone like everyone there at one time due to the weather and the cancellations and whatnot, and people being sick. Um, so hopefully we can spend that last practice with everyone if they can show up and go over. Okay, this is the this squad and then this squad. Okay, so the same position. This is what we need. This is what you're supposed to do. Blah blah blah. Whatever you're gonna call. Um, you're gonna make decisions. You're gonna talk to the defense. Like you're gonna make the calls on defense and you're making calls on offense. So that's what I want to focus on Wednesday. Some throw-ins, defending corner kicks, taking corner kicks. Some things that we can see a lot of. So those are the three things that we can see the most on in the game. Maybe a lot of throw-ins, a lot of corner kicks, and then falling back and then getting the ball. A lot of running. So I mean, we run all the time. So Yes, we're still gonna run. You know, I told you from the beginning of the season we're gonna run, and we're gonna keep on running. Is how we're gonna build up our endurance and stamina, and that's pretty much it. So I'll see everyone later. Um, if you like this sort of thing, if I should keep doing this, you know, like I'll start like a series or whatnot, you know. So and I'll find something better than using Hello Kitty. I don't know if I use this here. I had a lot of takes, so I had a lot of takes, and at one point I was kind of demonstrating with this Hello Kitty transformer on positioning, and um, I think I used for this one take. This is no cut. This is going on 40 minutes that I used the you know, the line or whatever. So if not, you missed out on Hello Kitty transformer. Um, but anyway, um, if you want to see like a weekly series to kind of help you um, garner a better understanding of what your job is of the game along the season, and I can do some updates on games, then I'll do that. Just let me know. Other than that, I have to get ready for bed. You know, so all right. I'll see you all later.